is not a wish-granting factory. This quote is from my favorite book called Fault in Our Stars, and unfortunately, it's really true. So, fair warning, this, especially my first object, is really personal, so don't judge. So, when I was 2 years old, I was taken into foster care. I was bounced around in 12 homes in 2 years. And then, whenever I was 6, I was finally adopted by the family that I have now. My biological mom has what's called paranoid schizophrenia, so she hears voices and sees things in her head, and she believes that they're real. And my bio dad could not keep himself out of jail. He has a rap sheet about a mile long. This brings me to my first object. These are all letters that he wrote to me from jail. They are the one and only thing that I was allowed to take with me from home to home in foster care. Because whenever you're in foster care, you don't have items that you can keep with you. They belong to the family that you were with. So these were mine, and I could take them with me. They taught me how to read. So I was reading, cooking, doing writing, doing little things like that when I was about 3 years old. And there's probably about 20 letters in here that he wrote to me over 2 years. And so they taught me how to read. They started my love for reading because I learned that you can express yourself in so many different ways through words. And it meant so much to me that he did that, and reading them made me feel connected to my family. They made me feel like I wasn't as alone as I felt being in foster care all the time. And then my present object is the book that my beginning quote was from, The Fault in Our Stars. It's completely annotated, just about every sentence is highlighted with comments, everything on it that you could possibly think of. And reading is constant. It never changes. It's one thing that I know I can always come home to. So if I'm, having a stressful day at school, or, my mom's sick, or something small like that is happening, I can come home and I can read a book because I know that it's always going to be there and it's never going to change. The quotes that are highlighted in here are my favorite from the entire novel, and I live life keeping them all in mind. So that beginning quote, "The world is not a wish-granting factory," I live that knowing that, yes, you have goals, you have things that you can say, I want to do this, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, and you have to accept that sometimes you are going to fail, but you have to keep pushing forward, and you have to keep going. This book is my favorite of all the books I have ever read, and if any of you have ever been to the middle school, pretty much all of you have. I read every single book in that library in the 3 years that I was there. So I have read a lot. This novel is relaxing, and it's constant, and that's why I love it so much. The future holds many things for many people. For me, hopefully, it holds writing novels. So my third object is a novel that I wrote for creative writing. So this was the very first novel I've ever finished, and I actually sent it to a publisher, and they want to publish it. So I worked so hard on this, and it just kept my love for reading and writing going, because I could read all these books and then I could turn it into something that I wanted to read, or something I thought other people would want to read. And I'm really proud of this, and it symbolizes what I want to do in my future, and that I will work really hard to get there. So to conclude, each item I've brought has the continuous theme of literacy. The letters introduced me to my writing and reading, and the annotated book continued my love for reading, and the novel for creative writing shows my continued love for the literary arts. These items represent my goals, my accomplishments, and my history. I'll end this with a quote from John Green. "You don't get to choose if you get hurt in this world, but you do have a say in who hurts you." I like my choices.